afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Welcome to the first IHF Live Online Symposium. My name is Courtney Gahan. I'm a member of the IHF Media Group, and I'm the moderator for today's session. Before we begin, I will outline the translation options. We have French, Spanish, and Arabic translation available. Simply click the globe icon at the bottom of your screen and choose your language. And remember to mute the original audio when using the translation function. Arabic translation is available under the Chinese label. The first IHF Live Online Symposium is part of the Virtual Academy recently launched by the IHF to facilitate global online learning and licensing opportunities for the handball community around the world. All of this falls under the umbrella of the IHF Education Center, available at ihfeducation.ihf.info. This first live online symposium encompasses 20 lectures presented from top handball experts from around the world. Today's lecture is presented by top IHF referees, Matija, Gubica, and Boris Milosevic from Croatia, and Oscar Raluy and Angel Sabroso from Spain. Please feel free to ask questions throughout the lecture, as I will be passing these on to the referees when we have time to stop. And please also note that this video is being recorded and will be available for on-demand viewing later on the IHF Education Center. And with that, we are ready to begin. Over to the referees.
Hi to all. Just a moment. We need to share the screen. Okay. Hello to everyone. Good afternoon or good morning. It depends on which kind of the position world you are. My name is Boris Milosevic.
I'm Matija Gubica.
And please also welcome Angel and Oscar from Spain. Please say hello to all of us. Angel, Oscar, you are here?
Yes, friends.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to Symposium.
So, Courtney, thank you for the introduction. So, today's topic is one of the most problematic and critical topics in modern handball. So, we try to find this 90-minute presentation. We try to find you and give you some solutions. See how is the tasks and positions and movements around the pivot zone. What are the crucial part and how it's should be managed from the referee side, and what is allowed, what is not allowed.
I would just want to say we are doing this in couple for the first time online. Like now, we will have probably from one side to another side, but we will give our best to transmit you our message about this very specific and then problematic task for referees.
Matija, forget to mention, we split this presentation in 3 parts. So Croatia will do it first part, the second part is going to do with the Spanish colleagues, and then third part is going to also from the side of Croatia. And in the middle of the part, you will have you can ask some questions which will be managed by Courtney or someone else. So we can start with this one position with the pivot zone. So what we want to ask you, is this the pictures what you see it on this? Is this the handball?
What we want?
Yeah, this is the really good pictures. In this modern handball, there is a lot of the situations like this, and this is what we don't want to do. To send and present that kind of the pictures to form our sport. This is not a handball. This is let's say almost like a judo or something like this, rugby or other sports, and this is not nice to send that kind of the picture around the world.
And what we mean about that, you will see now in the next clip. It's minutes too, but you will see what we mean when we say this is rugby.
So just remember this. Is this what we want?
Hogy Ligetvári maradt támadásban. Itt egy pár közelharc. A 14-es magyar vezetés. Egy emberként ugrál. Vagy gól lesz belőle, vagy büntető.
Lots of pushing, holding, hitting, pulling.
Symmetry volt, az bocsánat. Átkaroló mozdulattól így hátrendel. Az is lehet, hogy életet, most már tényleg utolsó válogatott mérkőzésén így és Ferenc.
So this is the question. Is this a kind of the video or situation that we want to sell to the world and everybody who is watching the handball? Probably not. You know, in the past, in the modern handball, there is a strong body and there is lots of the hitting inside of this. So this is not a picture what we want to have and send it to all around the world to see that this sport is almost the killing each other. So this is what we don't want to see.
And we want to see clean game and fair play, like you can see on this picture, but give me another one slide. And we want, it's maybe most important, correct and strict rules interpretations, because we have lots of improvements in the last few years, but main important is that we don't need to change rules, we just need to apply them how it should be in the rule book.
Okay, all of us in this modern handball know that the pivot players are becoming one of the most important players. So we need to protect them, but also, and sometimes in comparing with this, to protect the pivot players, we also allowed sometimes that too much that pivot players are using this our gift to also kill, let's say, the defender. But we will now find some examples how we can protect the pivot. Okay, we're going to just repeat it just once more time to show. Okay, you will see now. Small, grabbing the shirt, and then this is how we need to protect the pivot player. Also, according the opposite side, sometimes the pivot players are not so friendly with the defender and trying to provoke, not to provoke, they're really dirty in some situations.
Main point in this clip now is that we understand that what kind of punishments we give to defender, the same applied for pivot players in attack too. So if they do some fouls like this one, only possible decision is attacker foul and 2 minutes penalty for them.
Maybe somebody will said this how this could be possible. It's maybe strange, but it's only attacker foul. But this is really dangerous foul from the pivot side, and the decision from the referee is absolutely correct, and it's only can be attacker foul in 2 minutes for the pivot. This is not allowed in the handball. Now we are coming on something from we started on the first clip. What's, let's say, during conversation with everything that everybody of us, all of us, especially with the coaches, need to do with the players. Long holding, no matter where the ball is, just like we would want to say, kill the player, kill the pivot, kill somebody. This is not allowed, and we don't want to do this.
I just want to say long holding, it's only one part of it, but we still have here pulling down, pushing, hitting. That's everything what we need to observe very strictly, because if we lose from the beginning concentration, we can have big problems later. Very good decision of the referees, nice signalization, and this is how it should be done on the field.
And the main question is that defender didn't even try to play on the ball. She wanted only to grab the player, grab the attacker, and fall down with her. So this is the long holding. No matter what is the beginning of the match, but it must be direct 2 minutes. This is the only possible decision. So
let's go.
Sometimes we are now going to the sort of the clips which we are going to show you where the defenders are not playing on the ball. They're playing extremely on the body of the pivot player. And it's every moment, in every situation, at the beginning of the game, it must be punished with the 2 minutes. So there is the only when the defender doesn't want to play on the ball, just to came on the body of the pivot. This is also the crucial parts of this. Look now. Is this correct behavior of the defender? Of course not. You see, the pivot is turning around and the defender is still on the body of the pivot.
And plus long holding, and it's by the rules must be punished with 2 minutes too. There is many situations like this in our game, and how we will see now in next clip. It's really important that we make the line from the really beginning of the match, because if we don't do that, later will be many situations like this one, and we can lose control of the match.
Look at the time, look at the score. It's 4th minute of the game. So if we allowed that kind of behavior of the defender on the pivot, what's going to happen in a 52nd minute or something like this?
And this is cool example. What we should do now is really clear that it's 2 minutes and then the penalty shoot. And then if we do that, we put the line, and it's for everybody else, it's clear how we will whistle in this match. So we are still on the introduction. So there are some aspects related to pivot zone that we should keep it in our mind. There is 7 points what we make it. So the pivot wants to get a space for the attacker. Another one is the defensive position. Is it the defender in the front, or is coming from the behind, or what he's going to do? Third one is long holding, pulling down, pushing, or even hitting. Fourth, it's a little bit anthropic differences. So it means smaller, bigger, and something like you should keep it on your mind. Of course, now when we change the rules, new tendency, frequent use of the double pivot, especially when we have a 7 players inside in the field. There is tactical decisions how to use it and everything. New tendency, attacking player actions, small grabbing and then leaving, tricky questions. This is what we need to also focusing on that. And of course, maybe the last and also the one of the critical part of this, provocations and overreactions. Sometimes we have provocation from pivot side, but also sometimes we have overreaction from the pivot, or maybe the defender who is trying to provoke attacker for or something like this. So this is the 7th one is maybe also the crucial part of this in this modern handball, because it's coming too fast and everything also. So we need to have a focus on that kind of the levels. Getting the space. You know, everybody wants to get into the space because everybody wants to get the score. So the pivot in this modern handball, also from the tactical side, is getting more and more powerful, more and more stronger, because they want to grab the space for the outside players or something like this. Getting the space is fundamental side of the sport. Every sport wants to get the space, open the space to get the score and everything like this. And I just want to say, yesterday in the first presentation, coach Bepler said really good. It's all about space, and it is really all about space. And I'm happy to hear that from his side too, because that's only a sign that coaches and referees are on the same line, and it should be like that because we are here, both of us, for one thing, and that's clean and modern handball.
So normal fighting is one of the most important things. So, but using the normal, but you will see sometimes that also the pivot are using not so good examples how to try avoid and get open the space for their attackers, for the players.
Absolute normal play from the defender and attacker, but only defender use space, clear decision. But we really need to be all ready for everything on pivot zone, because there is many blocks, counter blocks, movements, control, change of opponents, anticipation, marking, sliding, pushing. You know, pivot zone is really crucial part of the handball game, and we need 60 minutes to observe it really strictly, because if we lose control for 2-3 seconds, can happen everything.
Another one is how to play to try the best, find the best position. But then what happened? A lawyer struggle for the free space or something like this. Is this the normal? Of course, this is not the normal, maybe, but in this situation, absolute correct decision from the referee side. The fight was really starting from the beginning, and what Matija mentioned at the beginning, we need to focusing from the moment. Now, the fighting is starting also. Look, the referee, he's really focusing on what's matter. Doesn't care where is the ball. He's only focusing on one thing, which is now mattering, the pivot. And he's following all the time defender and attacker, what they're doing. The ball is coming to the pivot, and what happened? But if he didn't start the following from the beginning, maybe he will miss something. Maybe he will see only small and said, okay, it's only 9 meters, nothing else.
Two situations now. We will see from defender side and from defender side by pushing. This is what we are talking about. It's many unexpected situations what we must be ready, because it's lots of fight on the line, lots of trying to get best position, lots of trying to cheat the referees, and then in situation what you see only possible decision is direct 2 minutes.
Yeah, I like this, to cheat the referees. Yeah, very interesting.
Many times.
Yeah, many times. Look this. Okay.
Holding without ball.
Aha. Okay, the ball was going through to attacker, to the pivot, little bit holding, little bit pulling down, and then in the moment when his bowling coming to the pivot, defender just left the hand, said, no, I didn't touch him. So it's something. So if the referees are not concentrating on from the beginning and everything else, it maybe could go pass away and they're going to be goalkeeper throw for this situation. But in this moment, this is absolutely correct decision.
I look now. There is no intention to play, especially in this clip, ball. It's intention only to hit the pivot, and it's cannot in this situation. It's impossible to not give the 2 minutes for this. If we do it, then we show to everybody that we are in the game. We see what happened on the line and how we will control match with these situations.
Yeah, what Matija told. Look, where is the ball? Ball is over here, and look what's happening here. Does this situation have something with the ball? Absolutely not. And if we allow this, then we can really go to the big problems during the game and everything else. So this is, oops. Oh.
No, never mind. Okay. Well,
never mind. Yeah. Okay.
This is in next 2 clips you will see
fine.
One more.
Okay, you see nothing with the playing. Even the left wing stopped, and to see what happened. This is not overreacting from the pivot. This is really not overreacting. Sometimes you have the overreacting in this situation, but this is not overreacting. This is really pushing from the defender. So we are now coming on this.
We are coming on this. What is really important, and it's happening especially in the last few years, very often, and we all referees must be very strict about this, and then show that we understand what's happening and how we will react in this situation. What's going on? It's going on only one small push in the moment when the attacker should receive the ball. And if you are again not very concentrate, and you see it's only small push, and if you don't observe the situation right, you can miss this. It could be for you clean situation without pushing, and it's not. It's a penalty, 2 minutes, everything absolute correct.
What Matija mentioned, this is really the new tendency. Small kind of the tricks how to try to fool the referees, and if you're really not on the right spot, on the right viewing position, then you cannot see it. In this moment, maybe some of others will see, oh, there's nothing happened, but there was also pushing from the number 5 and everything, grabbing the shirt also. Trick number 2, it's going to happen on the left side of the wing.
Someone's in trouble, yeah.
The position is going to happen here.
2 minutes suspension for Gomez.
You have 2 pivots.
On the wing, but
Same situation, yeah.
Maybe showed how to defend Sagerson a wee bit there. A little bit better than anyone else has done. It's not easy. Look at him. Raluy comes across to help him. In the meantime, there was a drag back in there just off camera. And it's a foul play, not a foul play, but it's a player down there for Barcelona. So they're both down a player for the next 54 seconds, and then Paris will be back to full strength.
So from the tactical side,
trying to hold him. Someone's in trouble, yeah. And we're going to see 2 minutes suspension for
there is two pivots. Something's going to happen. Someone's going to make the space, open the space for the player. Oh, back. Cannot use.
Trying to hold him. Someone's in trouble, yeah. And we're going to see 2 minutes suspension for Gomez for a goal on the wing.
And this is the situation. The left back could not pass anymore. He wanted to pass the ball to the pivot, second pivot, and now what's happened?
But maybe showed how to defend Sagerson a wee bit there. A little bit better than anyone else has done.
And this is what we really need to have in mind. Again, ball is not the object what the defender wants to get. It's only the body of attacker. And in this situation, it's really easy for all of us. We don't need to think a lot. If it's hitting on or pulling body without having attacker the ball, it's clear. It's must be 2 minutes.
Okay, we can go.
Yeah.
Third one.
No, from attacker.
From infractions from attacker, people getting space without ball. So we are now going to some kind of the zones where we are trying to give the opportunity to pivot to open the space for the attackers, but sometimes they are making wrong position. It's also they're not so nice and polite to the defenders.
sound is.
Nice goal. So we are focusing on this. Okay, sound is a little bit. You see, there is the movement from the pivot. The pivot is not on the correct position. Pivot is too late to be, and now he's almost run to the defender. You see, and this is illegal contact.
Mm-hmm.
You see how the pivot was making blocking, moving with the defender, and defender tried to avoid. Look now, you see. Also long step from the side of the follow the feet of the pivot player. And if you are not on the right spot and if you are not focusing, then you are in a big problem.
Pushed out of the way by Nielsen. Well spotted by the German referees. Just held it about a mile away. O'Sullivan will stay on in the track now.
We can go to another clip one. Opa. Okay. Very nice, very nice.
Difficult situation.
Yes, Angel, you are too serious.
And one more.
Everybody's fighting for the space. Attacker wants to make incorrect block. Defender is grabbing him, and it's really special situation. And the last one from this part.
On the right hand side now, he receives the ball. The hand is up the pass to play. He steps into the shot. And the foul call against Jose in on the line.
Okay, defender. Watch the defender. Okay, now we can maybe it's probably the decision is correct because there was a right hand of the on the defender, but there is also really a little bit overreacting from the
yeah. But we just want to show you on these four clips what everything is happening in the games and on what the referees need to be focused all the time, because it's many situations, and if we don't see them right, we can have totally opposite decision of what it should be. And two more.
Do we have two more? Yeah.
Clips.
Okay, clips. Okay, so we are now going to the part when the pivot getting the space when they're having the ball, rolling over the defender, using the body. So you, as I mentioned it on before, in this modern handball, there you have strong pivot, you have strong defenders, you have they use their bodies for everything, almost lots of the kilos and everything. So they are trying to provoke and do whatever they want.
Look now the hand of attacker.
Absolutely correct position of the defender. There is illegal contact of the attacker left hand into the upper part of the body of the defender. Absolutely correct.
Yeah. Very good observation of the referees and excellent decision.
And this is maybe important. Look the defender. Defender is really first on the spot, and he's really in front of the pivot player, so it cannot be a goal, or it cannot be only can be attacker foul. So. And this situation also is very interesting, but also one of the difficulties. The pivot is really pushing with the hand defender, but it's really from the side of the defender is really overreacting.
But this is once again showing how difficult part is pivot. Yeah. Okay, that's it from our side for now.
For Croatia, this is we are finishing. Angel and Oscar, please, can you join us? Yes. Okay. Courtney, does we have some kind of the questions or something like this? I'm going to stop the share, so Angel, you can take the floor. Okay.
We do have a few questions. Shall we do some questions now?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
No problem.
Someone has asked about the pivots and the defenders fighting throughout the match, and how can the referee try to prevent situations where you're going to have to give a lot of 2 minutes? What do you do as like personality and rule wise to get this under control early?
But yeah, you will.
This is at the end.
At the end, yeah, this is the question for the end.
Okay, then we can come back to that.
We can do it on the end.
Well, then maybe we should just wait until the end and
yeah, of course.
Something similar.
if you're going to answer them.
So, Angel, please.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So, after probably one of the key factors in our sport, getting space, when we are speaking about a pivot zone, it's important to know the defensive system. There are different types of defensive tactical behaviors on pivots. Sometimes it's a tactical option to defend the pivot from behind, like we can see, continuously closing the spaces to turn himself and face for goal. Another option is defense on line or defense ahead, anticipating, cutting lines of passes and closing gaps between first lines and pivots, like we can see here. But of course, this is not our task to choose the tactical defense system, but our task is to see the situation and to be ready for everything. We can see this example, because sometimes to find yourself from behind of the pivot is not an option. It's natural things of our game. We can see this example.
Look at this fighting in the main area, both pivot fighting. This is not possible in a 100. Okay.
Yes, this is a very good example. Getting the space and fighting for the space, first from behind, online, in front, and suddenly at the end, fantastic movement for the attacking pivot. At the end, the defender player is from behind, and the follow burst, and the referee is completely ready for that.
Very good decision and very good education for everybody, for a spectator and both players.
So the message, in our opinion, for everyone must be clear. When the defender is from side or from behind and the attacking pivot has the ball in front of the goal, the best decision is don't touch. The possibilities of the defender were just before to receive the ball, getting the space, cutting the passes lines. But when you are from side or from behind and the attacking pivot has the ball in front of the goal, the best decision, we can see this example.
You can see now in this video illegal defense, especially in the pivot, back, holding, pulling down. It's not possible in our hand. The criteria is very clear. We need clean handball for everybody. They protect, they spectate.
Coaches, very expressive. Yeah. Matija and Boris were speaking about this long holding, pulling down, pushing in the introduction. It's clear that these concepts, long holding, pulling down, pushing, today is clearer for everyone after a very good job from the PRC and from the last World Championship and Olympic Games about the IHF competitions. Everybody is working in the same line. It's not possible long holding, pulling down and pushing, but still we can see situation like this.
You can see now, this is the first minute in the game. It's important put clear line for both teams. Maybe yellow card no is enough in that moment. We need one suspension, and send very clear information for both teams.
It's clear. Long holding, pulling down, from behind. At the beginning of the match, correct decision, no doubt about this. Should be direct to minutes.
The question is, where is the ball?
Another kind of situation, sandwich style. Sandwich style is a concept that the referees use between us to call the help, defenders help, sometimes long holdings, hitting, grabbing, is not only for one defender. The defender's help is very typical, of course, in our sport. It's a tactical, it's a defensive tactical that every coach works every day, but it's a little bit dangerous for the referees. Why? Because when several defenders players are coming to the attacking pivot, sometimes we can see images like this.
This situation is very complicated for the referee. Okay, the responsibility is the ball referee, but more for the
This is the concept. The defenders help, and at this moment it's very dangerous, and we must very concentrate about this. The sandwich style is the name, the special names that referees use about these situations. Another example, sandwich style. We see half quarter with the defender help. This defensive system helping.
Very good solution is very good communication by nature. Who referee has the best focus? If you remember, Ramon said yesterday in the presentation, yellow card sometimes is administrative. We need real punishment. 2 minutes is best option in this situation.
Those are really complicated situations for the referees because a lot of players around only one pivot happens a lot of things, and we must analyze the hardness, the duration, and the consequence of this help. The last example, sandwich style, the last example.
Great athlete, just one step, pops up, and he gets the goal. And there's about 4 men to blame for this challenge. We'll see which one receives the punishment, as Marcinic needs to go down. Looks like a clash of heads, and a 2-minute suspension goes to Ludovic Fabregas. We'll have to look. Oh, there's
You can see the slow
a
motion.
nasty sight. That was a heavy collision of the two heads from Timotei Ngasson and Mihailo Marcinic, two big boys, literally coming head to head. Let's see that one again. Oh, and it looks like actually Cedric Sorando was the guilty party there.
It's fair, no unfair, but the consequences are very hard for our
It
sport.
was a pity. Maybe one punishment is missing.
The other problem, the teacher grabbing problem. Of course, last year, it's another part of our game or of our referee task that is improving, and today the things are better about this. But we can see still situation like this. This is not possible, of course. Matija and Boris said before, no ball at all. Where is the ball? The only answer here is 2 minutes, direct 2 minutes.
Both defender against one attacker. This is not possible.
This is a very bad image for our sport also. Look at the attacker player, the pivot. Look at the t-shirt.
Long t-shirts. Not possible in our handball. We need reaction for goal referee. Free throw not enough. Maybe one punishment, clear punishment. 2 minutes.
Clear.
At least.
Sorry. And also, the grabbing shirt problem is not only for the defenders. Look at this. Can you see? Great, very fast reaction from the goal referee.
The referee saves many times the same tools, both players, both teams, attacker and defender. They will use the arm, hold the t-shirt, but this is not possible.
In our opinion, this is the way to control this situation.
Sorry,
Very fast.
guys.
Sorry?
Can I just interrupt for 1 minute? Can you turn the volume of the videos down a little bit? It's hard to hear your explanations sometimes.
The loud, yes?
Yes, just
Okay,
want to be able to
okay,
hear you.
okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was saying that, in our opinion, this is the correct way to control these situations. Very fast, very quick reaction from the referees. At the first time, when we see the attacking pivot holding the t-shirts, small holding, but very fast, very quick reaction. Look at the minute. The first 10 minutes.
And remember, especially the younger referee, both rules for both teams.
And the last example.
Fool me once, shame on you. Madison.
This is a very long holding t-shirt. Complete without ball. He's trying to make lose the position for the attacking player.
And then yellow card after the goal, no is possible in modern handball.
Yes, but this was an old clip. When the defender player wants to control the pivot, he must know that it's possible only to touch. When I start to grab, sometimes this is the beginning of the problems. And we have to be very concentrated about this. And the communication from the referees to the players is very important to avoid this. Another topic is the anthropometric differences. Boris and Matija said higher, lower. It's very clear with these nice pictures. In our sport, it's very typical to put the higher pivot very close to wing zone, close to the small player, and the problems are coming. Look at this example.
Look at this in wing situation. Very bad decision from referee.
Yeah. This is a complete bad decision.
Attacker clear pushing the defender.
Start push, hold, and the end the attacker.
The first part, he put the elbow on defender and then pushing.
A very high, strong, and heavy pivot has the same right to play, being protected for the rules by the rules as a lower or lower weight player, and of course, and vice versa. And the problems are coming when we don't control these situations. The reaction from the referee, in this case, it was my decision.
Maybe it's better another decision, another technical decision, and another punishment and disciplinary decision. Why not?
Another example. Without ball, higher and lower player. Look at the pivot situation. This is not enough. The way to defend is very bad for the defender, and the answer for the referee is also very bad. You can see now. Very good position for the attacking pivot. He is very high, and the lower player catch, pull, and down.
I'm falling down. Maybe free throw not enough.
Of course. This is a normal in our sport from the last Olympic Games, but this is not a problem. 7 against 6. This is not a problem for the referees. Only we must be ready for everything, and we must be concentrated. One example.
All square, but the suspension is served out. The goalkeeper is back in again. They started as ever, the Norwegians, with Jonsson and Jondal on the wing. Well, scoring well. Jonsson, by his standards, maybe started slowly, but is picking up well. He's also the new captain of the team in Mjol's absence.
Contact with the pivot.
To the line, couldn't quite turn. He's got the free throw only, never got into a shooting position. His arm was down. Raluy was good defending. Marko Mamic.
Humble. We need very good teamwork for several situations.
He's in defense only at the moment, Mamic.
The key in this clip
it's all square, but the suspension is served out. The goalkeeper is back in again.
When we have to pivot, this is not a referee problem. After 4 years, it's very usual. But look at the field referee. We need more active attitude from the field referees. This is the key. Also, a very good useful of the headset is very important for us. Another standard situation, 7 against 6. 7 against 6. We must be concentrated on the blocks from the pivot. And the end of the situations usually is from backs and from wings. Look at the example, it's a normal standard situation, and referees must be very concentrated in the blocks because one-to-one pivot against the opponent is not usual when we are playing 7 against 6. That's the normal situation is to open the space and to blocks and finish the situation from backs or probably from wings. Look at the example.
7 against 6, you have maybe 2 hot areas. It's difficult for the referee.
We are going to speak about the new tendencies. This is a very complicated situation also for us. The last 2 years, it's very common to see the attacker pivot grabbing the t-shirt of the defender just in the moment of the shoot. We can see several examples. Ramon showed us several examples yesterday, and we have now 4 examples more. We can see in a slow motion. Who is the guilty? Now and now. And the result was 7 meters plus 2 minutes for the defender. Sorry. Another example. Exactly the same decision.
The same situation and the same decision.
The problem is we see an acrobatic shoot, and we think sometimes that this acrobatic shoot comes from the fault for the defender, but the real situation is completely different.
One tips for younger referee, maybe is good idea. You put your focus to begin the situation, not only the final the situation, to begin the situation. Who is the guilty in the first time? This is the question for teaching.
One more. Look at this. This is pretty complex for the referees.
Look at the reaction of the player, the defender.
And last one. The defender it's impossible to understand it.
For similar situation, and is for Worm's decision is maybe attacking 4.
This is a real new tendency last 2 years, and they are coming lot of situation like this. Sometimes the problem is not only from the shirt, also to the body. Look at this situation.
Pasa de nuevo a la esquina para que vuelva a empezar la circulación de balón. El lanzamiento de Adrián Figueras, bien defendido ahora por parte de Thiago Alves.
Attacker pivot, he understands that it was necessary something more from the referees.
Esférico para Borja Lancina. Se mete en la permuta Adrián Figueras, va a haber falta de Thiago Alves. Y 2 minutos, excluido Thiago Alves.
But look at the real situation in a slow motion. And who is the real guilty?
Why is the defender player guilty? Who take in the first time, the attacker or the defender? It's dangerous for another player of the Granollers.
Could we see? Real complex situation for us. This is another part very complicated for us. When the duels start to be harder and harder, the question is, when interrupt this? We must to go on the match, or we must to whistle the first infraction, or we must to whistle the harder one. We can see several examples.
But there you go. You've got to put it behind you and move on. Norway will be back to just 1 down now.
Now,
Murol races in on the line. Goalkeeper is still out there.
Harder.
Johannesson comes on again. He's trying to inject a bit of pace. Oh, a bit of space, but that's an attacking foul called against Murol. Germany break. Vida.
On the ball on the wraparound.
Another example. Harder. And finally, the solution in these situations never comes themselves. We must decide. This is very important, and to stop the hardest duels in the pivot area.
And remember, you put clear line to beginning of the game. You have wonderful 10 minutes for put several line, disciplinary, 7 meter.
Ramon was speaking about this, overreactions and provocations, a lot of minutes yesterday. And also in pivot zone is real complicated and real new tendency the last years. And for us, in our job, these situations are really unfair situations. We can see a lot of example about this. Overreactions and provocations comes from both sides, from the attacker and from the defenders. Look at the first.
Look at the defender. The defender said nothing, referee. This is not possible. Can you see the replay? Complete alone.
And now, see the way to falling down. He was looking for the 7 meters plus the punishment. is completely unfair. This is not possible in our sport.
Look the attacker player. He said, "My friend, this is not possible."
This situation generates a very bad atmosphere between the players.
But is a little hurry. Verbal counting is enough in this situation. Okay, it's good for the referee, see, but we need punishment.
It's a very good position for the attacker pivot, and clearly from behind, nothing to do from the defender, and he tries to very unfair situation. This is a clear provocation. Provocation is to create a new situation that is complete unfair. Overreaction is to exaggerate a small contact or normal contact, and to exaggerate the consequences. This is the difference between overreactions and provocations.
Another thing, did you remember our point number 4? This is not the fault of the referee.
We can see more examples about this. The block of the pivot, complete stop with the trunk, and the way to falling down of the defender, looking for the offensive.
What looking the Hungarian player go to the flow? Why? The blocking or nothing special?
And after that, he started to see the referees, asking something to the referees. More examples. Sorry.
Put him off. It's up for a 9-meter ball, and the ball is in play. Zhitnikov again facing Scuba.
This is a real complex situation for the referees. When the defender player feels a small contact and the way to falling down.
Ball is with Bobac. Look at Banhidi. Banhidi's goal. That's brilliant play, Banhidi. He could have given it to him twice there, but he just waited. Bobac dropped it into the big ball on the line. Look at the block on Shishkarev. They have got to sort that out. They need off it.
Very complicated. Because we can see the arms, but this is a real hold, or is an overreaction from the defender? And you can see the bad atmosphere between the players for these situations, the overreactions, the provocations.
When the defender looking for the face of the referee, why is possible? But the referee has verbal caution. This is not possible your behavior in our handball. Please. No Hollywood action, no more.
Also the attacking pivot looking for the punishments. This is also very unfair situations. Look at the pivot.
Can they keep this up for 6?
Look at the pivot. Oh, this is very common, and this is not fair. Did you see? We must to control this situation. Verbal caution, anticipating, eye to eye, face to face. Another example. Look at the pivot. This is very unfair situation. Look at the pivot. Nothing happened. He's looking for a punishment.
He don't play today handball. This is not possible. This is the first time attacking fall and verbal caution.
One typical problem from the referees, when a contact is a real foul and when a contact is a not real foul. With pivot situation, we usually put the line of the 7 meter very lower. We can see several examples. We can see in slow motion. This was a real foul. In 7 meter line, in our line of the 7 meter decision, we must to demand a high quality, high level, not cheap 7 meters. And it's very typical in pivot situations.
Remember, handball is contact sport, but small contact many times is nothing. Sometimes the best decision is advantage.
Play on.
Play on.
We usually see acrobatic shoots or falling down shoots, and we think that it's coming from a fall, but the real situation is not a fall. Last example.
Symmetry. Karolek, look at the block, but he goes to Kulesh, into Karolek again as he turned. Great save, but the ref, it's going to be a 7. Great interplay between the two Belarusians. Look at this. Nice hands. Karolek turns, fouls. Didn't see that myself, but Symmetry. Duchabayev. Karolek, look at the block.
Look at the way to defend. Is very, very correct. Looking for the ball, only looking for the ball.
But he goes to Kulesh, into Karolek again as he turned. Great save, but the referee says it's going to be a 7 meter ball. Great interplay between the two Belarusians.
With this your line, minutes.
Yeah, this is a fantastic way to defend. Looking for the ball. And after that, absolute nothing.
The defender has.
And this is acrobatic shoot. No goal.
Turns. Foul. Didn't see that myself, but okay. Duchabayev.
From my side, break or?
Okay. Matija, Boris.
Wait a second, coming.
Okay, we are back. Courtney.
Conclusions.
Now conclusions, yes, okay, just
wait.
Courtney.
We do have a few questions, but I'm not sure if we should ask now or wait to see the rest of your talk, because maybe you're going to answer some of them.
Maybe wait, then we have only 5-6 more slides, and then we can go on questions.
I think that's better.
Just a moment to share the screen. Okay, we are back online. Yes, are we? Yes, okay. So the question of all questions is how to control the pivot zone. As you know, the PRC and IHF has the really clear rules again, and we don't need to change about the pivot player. Somebody mentioned we have one question, how to control the pivot zone. This is the really question of all of the questions. From the beginning of the match, we really have lots of the tools how to manage the pivot zone. But only what we need to do is start from the beginning. Sometimes from the referee side, we use our personality, our experience, our everything to try to handle it in some kind of the situation. But sometimes it's going to escalate it in one moment, and this is where we cannot anymore use our body language or something like this. Sometimes with the body language, we can accomplish to the end of the match during this, but in modern style of the handball, probably not anymore yet, because it's faster, stronger, and everything. So the rules are really strict, really clear, and really we don't need to change them. It's on our side to how to control the punishments and everything else. So I will show you one more time. In this kind of in the modern style of the handball, yellow cards. Let's say in this situation, this is a gift for the defender. Really, what we try to mention it all the time with our lecture. Where is the ball? Look, there is no ball. It's coming to the pivot. Defender is really against the attacker. Look at now. It's pushing.
It's clear.
It's clear 2 minutes. And this is what we don't want to do. Never mind that it's a 10 minute or it's a second minute or it's a third minute or 7. This is not a situation for the yellow card.
And we just need to point one more thing. This is with yellow cards. That's something what is strictly ruled from PRC that we are allowed to give 6 yellow cards in the game, but that's past. In modern handball, now tendency is 2-3 yellow cards, and it's what's most important in right situation. There is no anymore giving yellow cards just to give them and to have 6 yellow cards given on the game. That's wrong. That's past. And in modern handball, we use now 2-3 yellow cards maybe in the game, and in right situation to give to everybody in right moment information what today will be allowed and what will not be allowed in this game. So we all need to be very careful, especially young referees who is coming. You need all to teach from these clips many things. Try to be modern style referees, because there is nothing else anymore. That's it. You know, in the future it will be only like this, and this is strictly PRC criterion, and we all need to follow only this one. Okay, let's go another one. So
what Matija mentioned it is we have the yellow cards. Yeah, okay, this is not a topic for the progressive punishment is not a topic of today symposium, but sometimes we need to interrupt less the game as is possible. So don't break the flow of the game. Just leave the players, leave everything, just floating, just the game as it is.
Just when we are now here on the yellow card, that's something else what it's strictly from PRC prescribed. There is no anymore yellow cards after goals. You know, it cannot be. It's something what happened in the past. All new referees around the world who is watching now, or coaches must have that on mind. That's something what we sometimes in the past do. It's not possible to do it now, and this is what we see when it's something what we saw in the last clip for 2 minutes. Then it's for 2 minutes. You know, you cannot give yellow card because it's only start of the match, because you think now it's possibility to give a yellow card. No, if it's in the rules, something what we saw 2 minutes, then it's 2 minutes.
Okay, so we're going to show some clips. So tell me, when we compare these situations, we will start from the beginning. When we compare these situations, can somebody tell us what's really happened here? Nothing? Okay, this may be stronger, but that kind of the situation during the game, we will have lots of probably. So this is how we control. Is this going to be in a 57 minutes, 2 minutes? Hard. And of course, and the question of all of the questions, 2 yellow cards in the same attack. That cannot be possible. So then we are going now to how to use the yellow cards using the pivot zone on the proper way.
He didn't have a big role to play. Plays for Selfos.
So look this. In this moment, the referee should give the 2 minutes. It was really pushing from behind and taking the down of the pivot. Just to clarify again. Opa. Oh, I missed one. This one. Yeah. Sorry. Technical issues. Look now. Now it's kind of pulling down. And the attacker maybe tried to play the ball, but when he saw that the attacker is pulling down and everything, he could not pass the ball to the pivot.
Yeah, and this is what we spoke about.
Don't change decision.
You see, it is beginning of the match. It's 6 minutes of the match. It's 2-1 result, but that's never mind. If something is 2 minutes in the first minutes, it's something is 2 minutes in 25th or 55th, it's 2 minutes. There is no need to adapt ourselves to situations on time, and that's not only there is no chance, that's completely wrong. We just need to be strict with the rules, and in the rules is everything described. And we are seeing last few years doing very strong with top couples on this issue, and this must be a line for everybody in the world for progressive punishments. Clear 2 minutes.
This is what we want to try to hold this presentation, how to foul. This is the really long, too long holding and then pulling down the attacker for the other side.
Yeah,
distribution between the referees. Yes, as you know, as we change the rules, there is seventh player in the field. There's 2 pivots. The tactical decisions from the coach side, they are using much more now. This 7th player for the
and Boris, just want to say in the past it was the let's say some task responsibility that everything around pivot zone is task of goal referee. That's past too. In today modern handball, we need to adapt from the minute to minute, from the situation to situation, and there is no anymore strict responsibility difference between goal referee and field referee. I want to say that even field referee in many situations can give yellow card, 2 minutes, even whistle attacker foul. That's no problem. That's modern handball, and we all need to adapt on those situations. And now you will see what we mean. Just look now at the pivot zone, fight, and who will make the decision. Absolute correct. Great decision, good signalization. Field referee make it, and that's not mistakes. That's a new trend, and we need to follow it.
Same?
Yeah, just leave it.
So,
all good.
Okay, we can go.
Another? No, back. We have one more.
Okay, this one.
Genau, sowas hat man von denen erwarten dürfen, weil die sich einfach enorm entwickelt haben. Agina Galde, Latte.
Look now this situation, what happened. Look. This moment, as Matija mentioned it, it's now the distribution task about field referee or the goal referee. This situation maybe it was too much from the field side of the referee. The complete control of the situation is from the side of the goal referee, and maybe in this moment this is the not so good decision in that moment. Look, okay, fighting, it was before, but like we said, tricky one what happened, but this decision should be
put me just once again. And what we spoke now before, Boris, want to say that we can discuss about decision, good or bad, but the task distribution in this situation was not so good on the field. It can happen even if to top level referees like this one, but we need to be very careful about our task distribution, because a situation like this we should avoid whenever it's necessary and whenever we can do to avoid them. So
okay,
one interesting clip.
Very interesting one match. So as you know, from the beginning, the referees should be concentrating on all of the aspects of the field, what's happening on the field. Sometimes it's not so easy as it looks on a TV when you're sitting in front of television, but sometimes we need to find who is the really guilty guy in this some kind of the situations.
This video example is real proof why is pivot zone and pivot play so interesting and so difficult for all referees. You really need to be concentrate every second of the match, because if you don't see what's happening from the beginning, a later decision can be wrong, and that's not good for nobody on the field.
Everybody's falling down, everybody's screaming. Everybody wants 2 minutes.
Decision is probably good, but if we didn't see it from the beginning, then we can have a big problem.
So we have is this the
back. Yeah.
And this is one criteria for everybody in all of the matches. So we need to start from the really early ages and everything. No sound? This good? No. This is the picture from the beginning from our presentation where we show what we don't allow in our sport. Is this something with a handball? No. This is more like wrestling or something like this. Then we have another one. Where is the ball? There's the no ball. Angel and Oscar mentioned something sandwich style. This is also one of the sandwich style, how to kill the pivot.
But what's most important in this clip, what we saw, that's our friends Angel and Oscar, is the same situation on opposite side. It is the same decision, is the same correct decision, super body language, and this is how it should be done on the field when something like this happened. So, first situation, on yellow side, all clear to everybody, 2 minutes. And now a little bit later, almost the same situation
but
on the other side.
But 3 defenders only.
But again, same decision, same explanation, everybody understand everything, and this is how it should be done. And this is something what Courtney asked.
So conclusion. Yes, Courtney, come on, please. Welcome back. We're going to finish very soon. So this is conclusion. Distribution for the referees. Constant observation. Believe me, it's not so easy. Constant observation of the pivot zone during the concentration, during the 60 minutes, and anticipation and involvement.
60 minutes.
60 minutes also. anticipation is one of the most key factors to success to control the pivot zone. Communication with the players, body language. We mentioned it at the beginning of the conclusion section that body language is one of the part of our tools that we can use it how to prevent and control pivot zone. And the fifth one, show the line from the very beginning. You saw in this presentation some kind of the clips they have at the beginning of the match. Not so very interpretation of the rules from PRC. It was the subjective opinion from the referee side. In that moment, they give the yellow card, but they need to give the 2 minutes. So this is how we need to establish the line, what is allowed, what is not allowed, what's going to happen after this. Consistency in the direct 2 minutes, applying the rule 8.4. This is what we need to do it also. This is also what we want to make a conclusion at the end to all of us, not only the referees, also to the coaches, especially for the coaches who are working with the young referees, with the young players who are working to start to learn them from the beginning how to defend on a legal way, not on an illegal way, on a legal way. What is allowed, what is not allowed. And of course, in the seventh, personality and experience. I think this is really one of the most things that we need to have all the referees, how to manage, how to keep the control during the game, especially the pivot zone.
And I think all these 7 key elements is something what should be for all young referees on what they will do, and all what you see in this presentation is we must be clear. It's our opinion, but it's strictly PRC tool how it should be done in the future. There is no other way. There is no something I will do it how I think it should be. It must be done like this. And many referees, even coaches, what Boris say, can teach the players what's allowed in defense, what's allowed in attack, how to be better, and then to follow this modern style of refereeing.
So, Courtney.
Thank you.
Questions?
Okay, because we're a little short on time, we will just do 2 questions.
Fantastic.
We have another lecture starting at 3 o'clock, everybody, in case you're not aware. So a lot of people are asking about the punishment for attackers in these situations you're talking about. I'm noticing people seem to feel a bit uncertain about what is a yellow card, what is 2 minutes in these situations where the attacker is provoking the situation. Can you talk a bit about this punishment for attackers?
Look, there is no defending or attacking who is who. It's only one key what we have in the mind, that's rules. So whatever happen on the defense or in attack and it's against the rules, we need to punish that. You know, so it's usually that we punish defenders, but it's normal. It's many fighting more from defender side. It's 6-on-1 in the defense. But if attacker do some things, and we could see that on the some slides, the same punishments is for him. It's then attacking foul in 2 minutes or something even more for attacking. But,
you cannot expect that for the whole situation is responsible only the defender. Okay, in most situations, defender is one of the guilty, let's say, but maybe in 10%, also the attacker is really pushing this defender and try to provoke him to make some kind of direction. So we have in one slide from Angel that there is also introduction that was the really dangerous foul from the pivot side. It was elbow into part of the neck and something, and also there was a tackle foul, and there was a 2-minute suspension for the attacker. Difference between the yellow and the 2 minutes. It's a nice question, but when you compare, it's always the question: where is the ball, and what is the intensity, and what is the question of what the defender want to do with this pivot. If he really tried to fight, really with a fight for the ball, not for the body or for the head or I don't know what, just to try to fight for the ball, yes, we can go with the yellow card. But in this situation, what we saw in this some kind of the clips, this is really for the 2 minutes and everything. So this is what we told on the end conclusion. We need all of us, the coaches, the referees, everybody, start changing our mind from the beginning.
Yeah.
From the beginning. So this is the opportunity for the young referees, for the young players to learn really how to play the handball. Or in a few years, we will have the situation like what we have from the first slide, where is a fighting and there's wrestling, not a handball.
I will just say about yellow cards that maybe will be easier for younger referees who is watching. Maybe yellow cards we top level referees have in mind. It's something less from the border from 2 minutes. You know, it's same punishment, but not for 2 minutes. But then with the yellow card, you show to everybody that you see that it's not allowed, and the next time this will be 2 minutes. You know.
But maybe... Boris, Matija, one advice more. For us, the key is to control the 8-4 rule.
Yeah.
This is very important in all levels. And it's a very good advice for the young referees to work very hard with the 8-4 rule, the direct 2-minute situation. Mm-hmm. Our goal is to show exactly the same punish with the same actions in all competitions, in all matches, and in all levels.
Yes.
And this is our very difficult job today.
Yes, I agree.
Another question, second question, the last one, I hope.
Yes, we do one more. Just about, because obviously you all referee very top matches, but what about applying these in lower level leagues? And the rules are not different, of course, but the players are different. So can you talk a bit about these same rules with lower level?
Angel, and you have something on this?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Of course, the rules are the same, but the difference we find in the speed, and mainly in the speed. Our game today is a very, very high speed sport, and this is very important for us. And we must to protect the ring, the high ring, the intensity and the speed of our sport, because it's the way to obtain more and more spectators, more and more fans. This is very important for us, and referees must to work about this. Ramon told about this several things yesterday in the presentation. The speed is a very big difference between high level and lower level, and of course the contacts and the consequences of these contacts. This is very important to find the difference between when it's a real fall. In the high level, the falls must be very, very clear, and the lower level, the contacts and the consequences of these contacts, it's normal to whistle more falls in the lower levels. The referees must work about this.
Only one thing, the rules is the same, but the most important thing to train it to a special skill for head, the stress. But we are nervous in top level. Why not? But it's possible you training stress. But the rule is the same, of course. But the problem is the same. After 20 years, we have a lot of experience. But it's important another things, the rules and another things, confidence, a lot of special things.
I agree.
Yeah, maybe this is the conclusion. Maybe we need all to change our mindset. You know that especially when you are working with a young, you told the question was how to have a difference between top levels and the lower levels, how to find there's really no line to how to find how to handle it, but this is the only one rules, nothing else. So this is need to adapt all the coaches, all the referees and everything on the level what you're whistling or what you're playing. So this is the only question. We cannot compare on the highest and then the lower. So probably to Angel said with this 20 years experience, we will go to the little bit, we'll go with the calmer line. So we go because we can handle it. But when you're going on the high level, then you need to have lots of experience and everything. So there is no unique answer or universal answer how to handle this situation.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll have to stop there because we do have another lecture coming up at 3 o'clock. That's with Mats Olsen about goalkeeper training, basic concepts in a different way at 3 o'clock European time. And thank you very much to all our referees and thank you to our participants in this lecture. Just to remind you, this is being recorded and will be on the IHF Education Center, so you will be able to access it later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.